and welcome back to episode 12 of Division Therapy. Here we are once again talking about our favorite baseball teams and our favorite sport, baseball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back. Episode 12 coming at you May 11th. An off day for the entire NL East. I don't know the last time that has happened.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Incredible.
Incredibly convenient. Clearly the schedule makers are like, we know that Bret and Liam were going to make a podcast.
That's right.
And on May 11th,
I got Manfred on speed dial.
And they were like, they want to be super convenient, so this all lines up. So thank you very much to the schedule makers. Very kind. But we're not here to talk about schedules. We're here to talk about some baseball. And you know, this is just how we do it. We start with the Mets, and I guess we start with the misery.
We start backwards, don't we? Last place again for the Mets in what should have been probably a series win. The Mets lose 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks. Let's kick it off with Game 1. I spoke about it in the pod last time. I felt most confident about this one because Nolan McLean was on the mound, and my instinct was correct. Nolan McLean looked really good. 6 innings, 1 run. It's not the greatest he's ever looked, but he was able to kind of get in and out of trouble, which was like just incredible. And Mark Vientos, once again, I mean, who is this guy? He had a great series in Colorado last series, and he follows it up with a home run and then the game-winning RBI double in the 10th inning. So, I mean, he is such a Jekyll and Hyde player, man. He is... At one point, he is just like the entire offense of the Mets, and then the next, he is just nothing. And I feel like we talk about it all the time, but it is so true. And huge balls from Luke Weaver, getting out of a bases loaded jam. He's been called Puke Weaver earlier in the year just because he was not great. He's been He's been better.
How did he get it out of it? Was it strikeouts? Was it a couple pop outs? How did he get out of it?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, the walks have to stop. Okay, it is just like ridiculous. Because you can't just walk guys and then expect to get out of it, right? Yeah. And so he walked 2 guys, and then he was able to get out of it. I believe he struck 1 out, and then got a ground out to, I want to say, second. But I mean, he's a ground ball pitcher in a sense. Like, I don't know. He doesn't really do any 3 of those really well, like fly out, ground out, strikeout. Like, he kind of is just like a guy who does it all. Yeah. And came through when they needed him, which they could not say earlier in the year. So the Mets win that one in extra innings, 3-1. And Game 2 happened, and they are facing...
2-1, man, gosh.
Dude, they're facing Merrill Kelly. I don't know how many of our listeners are big fans of the NL West or Merrill Kelly himself. Coming into the game, he had an ERA close to 10.
Yeah, now, he's really...
Yeah, really, I mean, he's coming off of injury, and so, you know, you have to think he's going to figure it out. He had a really good season last year, actually. But every Mets fan knew that he was going to, pitch 7 innings of 1-run ball, whatever it was, Like, no one thought that the Mets were going to, like, pound this guy because that's not what the Mets do. The Mets, man, they can never take advantage of a good situation. Like, that's all it is. Like, Ryan Nelson pitched the first game. They didn't really take advantage of him. They scored 3 runs total, and it was 1-1 for 9 innings. So it's like that guy had almost a 6 or 7 ERA. Anywho, Merrill Kelly near 10 ERA, and of course he pitches 7 innings of 1-run ball. And he threw strikes, man. Like, they were hittable pitches. They were on the broadcast. These guys are so annoying. First of all, let me just rant real quick.
Okay,
it was on Fox for some reason. The Mets are on national television against the Diamondbacks on a Saturday, where the Braves are playing the Dodgers, mind you. Like, crazy that happened in the first place.
That was very strange.
Really weird. And yeah, man, it's AJ Pierzynski. That guy just is he hates the Mets. He really hates the Mets.
Yeah, former Brave,
of course. And it's just like, oh my God, it's like, okay, we all know these things, like you're saying the sky is blue. Like, we know the Mets can't hit pitches at all. Like, Merrill Kelly was throwing strikes. He was throwing hittable pitches, and they could not do anything with it. And It sucks because they
But
waste.
what I think is interesting is like I'm like if you look at these box scores, and you think to yourself, oh, teams are struggling because they have runners in scoring position or not getting runners in scoring position home. Based on what I'm looking at here, there are only 5 runners in scoring
That's the
position in
thing,
both of
man.
those
That's the
games.
thing.
Like,
They didn't have
it's just
any
like,
runners in scoring position. It was like, and it just felt like it sucked because they wasted a Clay Holmes start again. He has been so good. I mean, he has been so good. He gave up 1 run in this game. 8 straight games with 2 or fewer runs allowed. Sorry, he gave up 2 runs. He looked good. Like it's not the best he ever looked, but he struggled a little bit. Whatever. You give up 2 or less runs, 2 or fewer runs in 7 innings. You expect that your offense can pick you up and win this ball game, and they couldn't. And honestly, like I was watching that game, it felt like every ball died at the wall. Like it was crazy. It was like they would hit it to the same exact spot. They would hit it to center field. It would go 405 feet, and you just can't in that ballpark. You are not getting it out unless you're hitting it like 420, 430. Like
do
they
you
have that
believe
big
in the
wall.
dead ball conspiracy that we see all around? Is this the dead ball era all over again? Like,
No, because you have your Schwarbers, you have your Matt Olsons. Like these guys are just like killing the baseball.
But are those guys just hitting the ball that hard? Is the question.
Oh
there.
yeah, but there are a few balls that definitely should have gotten out. Craig Kimbrell, I don't know what he's doing in a 1-run game. Like seriously, like 1 run is so insurmountable. So we're putting in like our punt guy. Like Kimbrell is the punt guy on the Mets. He's one of them, and he should not be in a 1-run game.
But clearly Mendoza doesn't think that.
Mendoza's an idiot. Mendoza has no clue what he's doing. Like the bullpen, the lineup, the in-game decisions, the challenges, dude. The challenges are insane.
Yeah.
The challenges are insane. Why are you challenging a pitch? Francisco Alvarez, I'm looking at you. Why are you challenging a pitch on a 1-0 count in the 2nd inning?
Yeah.
In a non-crucial situation. Like, it is. And the Diamondbacks catcher challenged the first pitch of the game and lost. Like, that is just like.
That's crazy, bro.
Stupid.
Crazy,
it's just
crazy
stupid.
stuff.
But yeah, Mendoza has no clue what he's doing.
Yeah.
He has no clue. And then I thought Vientos tied it in the 9th inning. He gave it such a ride. It would have been out in 5 ballparks.
Yeah.
And it completely just died at the wall because, it was Paul Sewald pitching. For those of you who don't know, he used to be on the Mets. And now every time he pitches against the Mets, he's thrown a scoreless inning. Like, the guy just plays with a chip on his shoulder. He loves facing the Mets, and he kills us. So, yeah, I mean, the defense from the Diamondbacks, give them credit, I guess, that they were positioned well because all these flyouts were caught. And then last game, facing their best pitcher to their credit, but their best pitcher by stats this season, is Eduardo Rodriguez. So if you remember, shoved in the WBC in that one game, everyone was like, really? And he's honestly kept it up. Like, coming into this game, 2.5 ERA. He was untouchable. He had
8 1/3? Oh my God.
8 1/3, man. He had a no-hitter through 6 innings. Like, it was just I just don't have words. It was 2-0 at one point, and we were like, yeah, this game's over. Like everyone who I was watching it with, we were at my girlfriend's for Mother's Day, and we were just, yeah, game's over. Let's turn on the Knicks that are 40 points up. Obviously, I watched. I'm a diehard. Unfortunately, I'm trying to get better at the losses stinging a little less. Like it really.
Yeah.
That 12-game stretch that we went through earlier really affected my mood for a couple weeks, and I wasn't proud of it. So I'm trying to get better at it, but especially
you were pretty mean. You were pretty mean to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna file an official complaint.
Especially mixed company as well.
Speaking of being mean, a little insight into our friendship today. Yeah. We were texting, and we're gonna get a little bit into later with the Braves stuff. And Bret is a huge Bryce Elder hater. He is preying on Bryce Elder's downfall, and that usually pisses me off. And so Bret texts me, and we're like talking about Bryce Elder, and so I text Bret back. And I'm like, you know what I would do in your position? And I don't know why he responded, but he said, what? And I said, win some ball games. And he did not text me for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was, I had to take a moment. I had to take a breath before I said something that I would regret. Let's just say that. But yeah, the Mets tried to do their opener plan again like they did, a couple games ago with Brazoban and then Austin Warren and David Peterson. And to everyone's surprise, it did not work. If it works the first time, it probably won't work the second time. You just too many bites at the apple, and it just doesn't work. And so the Mets just looked tired. I don't know how else to say it. Like, Andy Ibanez made two really, really bad back-to-back throwing miscues that really just threw the whole inning for Peterson. All of his runs that he gave up were unearned. Honestly, at this point, like, play the kids. I know the baby Mets of a couple years ago now all suck. Like, it's Alvarez, Beatty, and Vientos, and none of them have panned out. But 3 years ago or whatever, 4 years ago, we were all saying, play the kids, play the kids.
Yeah.
Play the kids again. Get Nick Morabito up here. Get AJ Ewing up here. Like, get some fresh blood in this team. Like, I cannot watch. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like Andy Ibanez is like Tommy Pham of 2 weeks ago. It's like, why are we trying to rehabilitate these like bums when you could actually?
Has he gotten a hit?
Tommy Pham?
No, Andy Ibanez.
Dude, couldn't tell you. Like, he's costing my team. It's just so bad. I mean, just
man.
It's just really bad. Like, why would you? Why?
Yeah.
David Stearns? David Stearns, man, I have sung your praises for years and years and years.
Speaking of David Stearns, something that we 110% have to talk about is the story that came out. I think it was at the end of last week about what Pete Alonso.
Oh, whatever. We'll talk about that. We'll get into that.
No, it's hilarious. It's so funny.
All right. So for those who maybe live under a rock, John Heyman. So who knows how true it is because he's Boris's. We'll see. Yeah. But John Heyman tweeted that it was pretty funny during a meeting with David Stearns. Pete Alonso said. Let me get the exact quote. I want to nail this.
Yes. Okay.
You can vamp for a second.
Okay. Yeah, but obviously we know that there's a lot of GMs that watched Moneyball. When Moneyball came out, and they were like, you know what, I'm gonna be just like Billy Bean, and I'm gonna make this team and all of this, and read the mathematics book, and I really do think that there is a fine balance here between using metrics and using what you see on the baseball field. I'm like, you can ask Mets across. Like, I feel like if you were to do a survey and ask Met fans, would they like Pete Alonso playing first right now? I don't really think anybody's going to say no to that. And it's just
no.
What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean?
No.
What do you
All right.
mean?
I found it.
Okay.
All right. So via the New York Post, Pete Alonso to David Stearns in an off-season meeting said, "When my career is being evaluated for the Hall of Fame, you'll still be fiddling with your effing formulas." I mean, it's an all-time quote. It is an all-time quote. It's so funny. But okay, let's be real about this. Pete Alonso, Hall of Fame?
Okay, yes, Pete Alonso isn't making the Hall of Fame. Probably.
What are you talking about?
I'm like maybe by his time at the end of the Orioles, maybe the Hall of Very Good. I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, like 500 homers isn't going to get you in. You play crappy defense, whatever. I mean, listen, it's a negotiating tool, whatever.
Here's what I'm going to say. The Hall of Fame is going to look very different in 40 to 50 years. So
totally.
I'm like there's going to be a lot of guys, I feel like, that end up in the Hall of Fame that right now we are not expecting it. Obviously, Pete Alonso still has his complete career ahead of him, and he could end up becoming a legend in Baltimore. So we don't know, like, obviously, but yes, it was just funny.
It was hilarious. It was really funny.
I do not believe that Pete Alonso is the only one that clearly does not respect David Stearns. So I think we're just trying to emphasize the fact that clearly there is not a lot of respect in the Mets organization, or at least Mets players, for David Stearns.
Yeah, and there was a podcaster, I can't remember who it was exactly, but he was saying that David Stearns, well, this was years ago when he was in Milwaukee, like David Stearns had a trade in place for him, but he wouldn't tell him what team he was going to. And the player was like, well, I'm just going to find out in 5 minutes. Like, I'm going to ask my agent. I'm going to ask the guy in the clubhouse. Like, someone's going to know, And
yeah.
David Stearns just wouldn't do it. So I don't know if it's just like, baseball's weird. It's like most of these players are not the finance, quarter zip guys. Like these guys are from like, Florida or, one of these. They just know baseball. They just know baseball. Like they play baseball year round. That's all they know. And so I wonder if there's like a disconnect there. Not sure, but
I don't
was,
know, but clearly Pete Alonso thinks quite highly of himself.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. Well, moving on to my Braves, and I just want to quickly say before I really get into these games, man. The Atlanta Braves are really good. And I've said that a couple times, but we went into this Dodgers series after that Seattle series, and realistically, every single Braves fan thought that we were going to get swept. And that's not just because we had just lost the first series. We've really struggled in LA. I think since 2013, we were 14-38.
Wow.
In LA. And it's brutal for us. Chavez Ravine is a tough place to go play baseball for a lot of teams. It's why the Dodgers are so good. So I think we really went into the series. And listen, game one felt like that. It really felt like, because we wasted a Sale start. Sale continues to look incredible. I'm like, the guy is awesome. Like, it's difficult to, be a Cy Young every time out. And he did give up a couple runs. Obviously, he gave up that home run to Freddie, which,
you knew Freddie was gonna hit one.
He was gonna hit one. Thing was middle, but it was runners in scoring position for that first game. When 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, Austin Riley was really the only offense to speak of. And it honestly really felt, okay, this is going to be this reality check that we were expecting. And we're going to go home and we're going to have this reality check. And then we're going to have to play the Cubs, who have also equally looked
good. They've looked really good.
Extremely good.
20 of their last 23.
Boy, was I wrong. Game 2. R.I.P. Bobby Cox. Just a quick R.I.P. Bobby Cox. That was a really sad day. Ted Turner and then Bobby Cox. It was very sad for me. Bobby Cox really meant a lot to me as a young man, and now still to this day. So it was tough. I'm like getting that notification before that game, and you're thinking to yourself, man, we're going to go to this game and get absolutely slashed. Well, that wasn't the case, because Spencer Strider has woken up. After that mile-high start, we were like, okay, the fastball's down to 93. It looks really brutal. He's walking guys. He couldn't get guys out. Well, he got guys out in LA. 6 innings of 1 hit, 8 strikeouts. Mustache Madness is back. And listen, I could not be more excited about that, because he looked incredible. And I don't care what people say. I'm
going to throw some cold water on it. I'm going to throw some cold water on it.
Stupid metrics that you sent me.
Yeah.
Oh, so the Dodgers are just bad, Brett? Is that what we're saying? That
I'm just like, this is probably the best start Spencer Strider is going to have of the year, right? Like,
no, it's not. His fastball was.
It was only up in a mile per hour. It wasn't crazy.
He was at 90. He was at 97. I'm like, you and me had the conversation. You and me said that if Spencer Strider,
it's his fastball. It's his fastball.
It's his fastball, and that he's going to need to be different. And listen, he added the curveball in 2024. Remember, and obviously he had the injuries, and he wasn't really able to flesh out that curveball to the fullest extent. And that curveball was the best we've seen it, and that is what makes him so good. Like the hitters could not deal with their curveball. It could not deal with the off speed.
I mean, I'm not trying to play devil's advocate for the Dodgers because they don't need me to do that, but no Mookie Betts. Ohtani looks horrific. He's looked horrific for the past, month. Like, there's something wrong with him. But listen, I have to give the credit where it's due. Spencer Strider looked really good. He looked really good. I will give you that. We were worried about him in Coors. We both said, there's not really much we can take from this. So, who's to say what these results will yield? But he looked good. I don't know if this is just, is he back? I don't think so. I just don't think so. I just don't think so.
Like, what is it? Because the fastball velocity isn't enough? Did you not like the off speed? Like, what's wrong? Like, do you still think that there's a control issue there that it's gonna?
I do think that there's a control issue. Yeah, I do. I don't know. I just don't buy it.
And listen,
I just don't buy it.
That's perfectly fine. You cannot bag it. But the RPMs were incredible. I'm like, he has as much RPMs as a NASCAR at Talladega. You know what I mean? I'm like, it did look really good, and the slider was great. So I don't know, man. I'm like, there's a lot of really good hitters. Andy Pages has looked really good to start the season. Freddie Freeman, for the most part, he's hitting for average. Not a lot of home runs to speak of, but he's still looking good. I'm like, Will Smith is good. I'm like, there's a lot of really Max Muncy. Like, obviously, there's a lot of guys on that team that can hit baseballs, and they still did in that series. I'm like, they ended up scoring what, 7 runs. So like, it's not like they didn't score. They did wait kind of till the end of the game to those two to score, but clearly this is an offense that is going to be competing. And listen, I'm like, they're paying like whatever's a fucking $1 billion to this. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
It was interesting. It was interesting of the Strider side. I'm reading that he threw his fastball less. He mixed in the curves a little bit more, especially he was playing with matchups. So, I mean, maybe this is just who he is now. Maybe he's not, overpowering fastball guy, but he's learned to pitch a little bit. And, if that's the Strider we're getting, then okay, I can buy that, But if that's just a one-start blip, then I don't know.
Well, listen, pitchers don't win baseball games. They got to score some runs too. And let me introduce you to the Braves, who have the best OPS in baseball and the best slug in baseball. I'm like, listen, it's so good. I'm like, we're so good. Like, it is like, you can't say that, we aren't clearly. Yes, we did miss out on Shohei. I'm like, I'm not gonna scoot around the fact that we did miss their best, some of their best pitchers, but like, obviously we're still competing. And listen, Justin Robleski, which whole another conversation, that was another really weird situation in the third game, but it's like he's really good. I'm like, he was one of the best pitchers to start the year, and kind of similar stuff to Elder from.
I was going to say he falls into the Elder conversation for me.
So,
regression,
yes.
A lot of
it.
But
listen, as I said, best OPS, best slug. We scored all the runs off singles and doubles too, and I think the Braves have been known as the home run team, especially in 2023. Right, they hit the most home runs ever by a team.
Yeah, they were cheating. Yeah.
Oh, okay. How do you cheat in other teams' ballparks? I don't understand that. You can't do that. But it's singles and doubles, and making it happen, man. It was only one double, that Money Mike double, and we got the win 7-2. It was awesome. Great for Bobby, and then the same score, 7-2. Elder, who, listen, and like, if there is one of the guys that would have the potential regression, obviously, I do think it is more likely to be Elder than Spencer. But I think that he still continues to have the strikeouts when he needs it. I will say that it was pretty tough when he literally in the 6th inning walked back to back guys to load the bases, which is more like Bryce Elder of old.
That's the old, yeah.
But lucky for us, seemingly we are getting these situations where Eli White, literally Superman, the dude flew into the wall, entered concussion. By the way, stayed in the game for the rest of the game. Entered concussion
just
protocol.
Malpractice. That's malpractice.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah,
that's bad.
And then is now on the 7-day IL because the dude literally ran into the wall, and apparently, like, Michael Harris asked if he was okay, and he like couldn't say anything. So the dude was laying it all on the line for the Braves, and like it was great. It was an awesome catch, saved Suarez's bacon, and then obviously he came in for 3 more outs the following inning. But speaking of Eli, he got the single started, so he also helped out. But Mauricio Dubon, who I love like a son.
You have a love affair with this guy.
It is.
You had the same love affair with Dom Smith a few weeks ago, and what happened to him?
Well, he's not playing.
No.
It's not his fault. He's not playing.
Why isn't he playing? Why isn't he playing?
Because we have a
he
situation.
Sucks.
No, it's not because he sucks. He's actually still been hitting. It's the fact that Michael wasn't able to center, and we needed Michael Harris's bat in the lineup, so he was at DH. So Dom Smith is still starting versus righties, so he's still good. I'm like, listen, look at his stats. Okay. There's been no shift there. But yes, Mauricio Dubon has a bases clearing double. This guy is incredible. I want him starting every single day. I don't care matchups over Mike Yastrzemski, who is just super quick. Mike Yastrzemski, absolute bum. Like, he does
another
nothing.
one that you had a love affair with.
Yeah. That guy is an absolute bum. He does absolutely nothing. Truly does absolutely nothing. Yes, I'm like, he has made a couple great catches. I'll give him that. But other than that, offensively, I'm like, the guy is a total toad. Olsen and Baldwin, two solo homers, but they do that, it seems, every single game. So that was pretty awesome. And listen, we've been historically bad at Dodger Stadium. We got the win, and now we come home and we face the Chicago Cubs. So we go back to back best teams in baseball. So if we go out and win this series, I don't really think there's anything else that is going to be able to be said about the Braves.
I'll say one thing. It's May. It's May.
I don't care if it's May.
It's May, dude.
We have a 9-game lead. If we listen, I don't care. I don't care about jinxes now. I'm trying to become less of a superstitious person right now. We have a 9-game lead, and we're like, there's been no movement so far.
Oh, yeah.
There's been no movement.
No, I mean the Braves are easily the best team in baseball. I don't think there's anyone who could honestly debate that right now. The Dodgers have dealt with a lot of injuries. They're slow playing their guys as they do. They are saving up. They're saving up for the postseason. They are not rushing back.
Your concern that the Braves are going to blow it, or is that you're concerned that they're going to blow it in the postseason? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I think
I'm not saying they're going to win the World Series right now.
Right. I mean, there's just like there's a comfortability aspect. I feel like we talk about it often in sports where it's like, especially if you get a bye week in football, let's say, it's like you are less likely to win that game because you haven't been in it. You haven't, it's like they're kind of just like they're just kind of on autopilot right now winning these games. At one point, like they're gonna have to face some adversity, right? Like they have to. You want to.
Well, they
like
did. They lost the series and then they came back and beat the Dodgers. I'm like, like they did do that.
Without Acuna too.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't really know. Like once Acuna,
no, you might be right.
Yeah.
You might be right.
So I don't really know. We'll see. But we play the Cubs, and I think we're gonna once again make a statement at home. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the other teams, and let's start with the.
Yes. Can I take it, please?
Well, you want to talk about the Marlins?
Yeah, I want to talk about Robbie Snelling, man.
Okay. Yeah,
I have been so excited for this guy's call up. I might be the most high on this guy, honestly. like I just think his stuff is so good. He really struggled in the first inning, which is like it's bound to happen.
Yeah,
he's pumped up. Like I can't blame him. He gave up all of his runs in the first inning and then was really good. I mean, the whole thing was like, is his control going to be there? Is it not? He ended up walking, I want to say 2 or 3.
It was 4. It was 4 total walks. All of the walks actually came after the first inning. So they didn't actually contribute to the runs that were scored. It was just, kind of in the flow of the other few innings that took place.
Yeah.
So I'm like, in a sense, obviously he did clearly pitch around those walks. So obviously he has the ability to do that. So that's good news. So
and listen, it's better than seeing Chris Paddock on the mound. I get that.
This is correct.
Good for the Marlins. Hey, let's take a second. Good for the Marlins. That is a surprising move that I would not have expected from the Marlins to bring up the
100%, 100%.
And you know what? Do the same thing with Jansen Junk. Just get him out of here. Bring up Braxton Garrett. We want to see it. We want to see it.
Yeah,
all right.
I'll
let you go.
I don't know about Junk though. I think Junk is still like contributing to this team. And listen, this Marlins team continues to kind of live on that edge right now. I'm like, obviously they weren't having the kind of homestand that they were hoping for. And, they were kind of losing ball games, and it didn't really seem like they were at 1-6 for this homestand. And it really seemed like, okay, maybe this is the homestand where they do start to kind of fall down the standings, and maybe we start to lose them a little bit. But we did it. They won that way. They won that final of the previous series, and then it came to the Nats. And in the second game, it was the largest comeback win of the season. Junk did not factor in, but he still delivered 6 innings. And Stowers was the one that got the scoring started.
He's on the board. Yep, first home run of the season. Good to see.
Which was great. And that was his second 3-hit effort of the season, which was great. Listen, and like when you think of the O's and, the couple guys that no longer play for them, especially now for the Miami Marlins, you know what I mean? Like that is kind of interesting to see. And like, it's crazy that he could currently be on the O's. So that's kind of crazy that they let him go. But listen, Xavier Edwards, him with some home runs, he hit a 422-foot home run. You, that's weird. That
Yeah,
is not
that's not his game.
that's not his game. But he has 4 home runs, which is supposedly getting close to a career high. So it is like him with the potential power tool. If Xavier Edwards has 10 home runs, I don't think that he's going to be playing for the Marlins much longer. Like he clearly has what it takes to really deliver. And listen, you don't need those 10 home runs from him. If he has 5 home runs, but he's hitting almost 400, I'm like, I think people are going to be perfectly fine with that. But 105 exit velo from Xavier Edwards, that's impressive. And then they made that comeback complete with the Jacob Marcy 3-run home run. Jacob Marcy, he is truly hot or he is cold. And for the most part, he is cold, but he does kind of run into one every so often. And he did for that 3-run home run. And John King extended his scoreless streak to 11 straight games. I think we really need to quickly talk about the fact that the Marlins bullpen is just really not being discussed. They have a 188 average against. John King and Anthony Benner have been lights out. Like clearly if the Marlins don't let up those runs and give them that 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, clearly the Marlins are having some success with this bullpen. And as I said in that final game, shout out Christopher Morel, who got his first RBI of the season. He was a big addition in the offseason for this Marlins team. According to the Marlins, a beat writer he was, they're saying that he was this big addition, and they were counting.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he had a ton of prospect hype. He didn't really pan out in Chicago the way that they thought he was going to.
Yeah.
I remember. I mean, this was like from a few years ago that he was the future of the Cubs, part of it. And so good for him. Like, maybe he's just like a change of scenery guy. He's on the Marlins now, big RBI. I saw after the game his quote. He said he's just glad he could do something to help the team win. So, I mean, you want those guys on your team.
Yeah.
But Sandy, man. Sandy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, he's getting the innings. He's doing what we said that he needs to do. If he's going to get the innings, he's going to get the innings. They won the baseball game, so whatever, but I don't know.
He's mediocre.
Yeah,
we call a spade a spade. He's probably a 3. I mean, like, he has moments of being a 1. Earlier in the season, he was a 1. We were discussing him is this guy going to be a Cy Young? And now he's kind of just taking a big step back. I think that there will be regression to the mean. I think it'll probably end up somewhere of like a 3.6 to 3.8 ERA. And he's not a big strikeout guy. He had 6 strikeouts this game, which is, okay for him. It's pretty good,
fine,
actually.
I guess. But yeah, I'm like, you expect 9 to 10, sometimes 11 from him previously. So I don't really know. There's some regression there. I hope that he finds a second wind because the Marlins need him to find a second wind, because if he's going out there and getting these innings, to what purpose is there? Is the purpose to eventually get another contract, or eventually like
trade value up? Maybe I don't know.
Value, like I don't think it's the scenery. I don't think Miami is a bad place to live or a bad place to play per se. I don't really think that people hate to play in Miami. So I don't know. It's weird. So okay,
let's move on to the Phillies real quick. Played the recently swept. No, sorry, not recently swept. The Mets lost that last game.
They did.
Thanks for the reminder, Liam.
Almost.
Played the Rockies in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Jesus Luzardo. We've talked about him a bunch. He's about as like up and down, hot and cold, whatever adjective you want to call it. Luzardo has looked great in some starts this year, and this start was just bad. Pulled in the 4th without recording an out, so only got through 3 innings and was down 6-0 after 9 outs. It's just, I was looking at that box score and I was like, as a Phillies hater, I was loving it. I gotta say, I was loving it. But as a Luzardo guy, I am a big Luzardo guy. I was feeling for him. For him. I don't know what it is with him. Like, I don't know if it's he's tipping his pitches like he was last season. I'm not sure. But, I was looking at the box score. I'm like, 6-0, this game's over. Like, let's go Rockies, taking one off the Phillies. Nope. Not even close. Down 7-1 in the 8th inning. The Phillies exploded for a 5-run rally against the Rockies bullpen.
Mhm.
Obviously, you think like the Rockies bullpen not that good. They proved that today or that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Geez.
And
Yeah.
Justin Crawford, son of Carl Crawford, famously,
Yeah.
first home run of his life in the major leagues. 2 out, 2 run home run for his first of his career to
Yeah.
tie it 7-7 to go into extras. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like the Phillies are really gonna win like after being down 6-7 nothing. Like insane. But no,
No.
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 The
No.
Rockies were able to pull it out. Troy Johnston pinch hit with the go ahead double in the 11th inning. Yo, real quick about Troy Johnston. When I went to the Mets game this year, he was in the outfield right where I was. This guy's a character. This guy
Oh.
loves
Oh. Really?
yeah. He loves the banter. He reminded me of like Jesse Winker before he came to the Mets
What
where
were Mets fans chirping Troy Johnston about?
who are you, Troy Johnston? You know, like who are you? Who are you, guy? We've never heard of you. And he loved it. He
Yeah.
ate it up.
Yeah.
He seems like he loves the smoke. So maybe the Mets
Okay.
will trade for him in 2 years, like they did with Winker. Not sure, but
Yeah.
yeah, huge hit for Troy Johnson, who's honestly had a decent season. And then second game, Alec Boehm was out of the lineup in the first game. Mattingly was asked about it. They said he needed a reset, a mental reset,
Well,
and
clearly
two
worked.
game two game mental reset.
Yeah.
And yeah, it clearly worked. Two
Yeah.
home runs and a double. He drove in 4 runs. I mean, if that's the listen, Boehm's been going through a lot with his parents and
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever's going on there. So
Yeah.
maybe
Whatever.
maybe he did need a mental reset. And listen, Mattingly, he did it. He did it.
Yeah.
Thompson didn't give him a mental reset. Mattingly's
No.
able to read these players, see what they need. And Kyle Schwarber, let's just take a moment. 3-run homer to the upper deck.
Yeah.
National
That's
League
difficult.
leader-
That's difficult. That's difficult in Citizens.
Really difficult. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about him a little later. But yeah, Schwarber was just insane. Nola struggled again. He had the 6 scoreless an outing ago. He can't repeat that. That's just not who he is. Trey Turner, who we did talk about last episode, was very disappointing. He went 4 for 5 this game
Yeah.
with I
Yeah.
believe a stolen base. Only problem is it was the only hit of the series. He went 0 for 6 the game before and then an 0 for 3 the next game. So not really what you want to see. And Bryce Harper came out of the game with a migraine in the first inning. Pretty soft.
Boo-hoo.
Pretty soft. Pretty soft.
I have
Maybe
a headache on Bryce Harper.
maybe lay off the raw milk. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But the Phillies were able to win 9-3. And then the final game, Bryce Harper back in the lineup. The migraine has gone away.
Yes.
He and Schwarber back-to-back home runs in the first inning.
Mm-hmm.
We got to talk about Christopher Sanchez. I mean, we've talked about him before, but another 7 shutout. He has a scoreless streak of 20.2 innings.
Yeah.
He's just that guy. It goes Skeens Sanchez. That's my Cy Young ballot right now. Like it has to be.
No, I feel like Sale. I feel like Sale is on there. You don't.
Sale and Imanaga are in there, yeah,
I'm
for
like,
sure. But
yeah, I'm like, if we're looking at the two best lefties in the National League, it is Sale and Christopher Sanchez. Yeah. I definitely think Christopher Sanchez definitely has the strikeout tool working better than Chris Sale right now. And obviously, Paul Skeens is Paul Skeens, so I don't really need to talk about him because he's incredible.
Yeah,
so,
but real quick,
yeah.
Schwarber is just on an absolute heater. He is,
man. He is.
He, in this series, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. He's one of those guys that could just carry a team for weeks at a time. Kind of how Juan Soto was kind of that last year for the Mets. Every game he had a stolen base and a home run. You're like, how? Schwarber is just, I mean, he could hit a home run legitimately every night for 2 weeks, and I'd be like, yeah, okay. Sure,
Okay.
like he's just in one of these.
Just what he does, man.
Yeah, it's like, up until, what was it, last 2 seasons, he was kind of like a 200 hitter. He's been more of an average guy the last couple years, and he was off to a slow start to begin. But clearly, this guy is back. He is the best pure hitter outside of Judge, Ohtani, and Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah, I'm like he's most certainly a pure hitter. I would say that Jordan definitely has that title to start the year. I'm like, Jordan is just on another planet. I've never seen a guy own a zone like that. It's like pitchers. I don't think there are pitchers that are as scared, or it's just maybe Judge pitching to Jordan right now. And like, that guy owns the zone. And I do think that continuing to build on that walk tool, you know what I mean, for Kyle Schwarber. I'm like, he's always kind of worked and gotten on base, obviously, because pitchers are scared of him. But I do think that walks have been a little bit down this year. So if he has those walks, and obviously when they come in the zone, it's going far. Obviously, that is very important for this Phillies team that needs him to kind of produce like that. Okay, so finally, we have the Nationals, who obviously play the Marlins. So we did just talk about the Marlins side of it. Let's talk about the Nationals side of it. And game one, Foster Griffin, man, it is just continued to be incredible. Like I just
He might just be good.
he might
Like
just
he
be
might
good.
just be good at baseball.
He might just be good. And listen, I don't really think his stuff is particularly that much better than Bryce Elder's. I'm like, I do think that it is definitely a little bit above it, but I do think that he has a little bit more of that strikeout tool, as he showed in the game with 9 strikeouts. And listen, doing that against one of the best contact teams in the East, I'm like, that is very difficult to get balls past the likes of Otto Lopez and Xavier Edwards. I don't necessarily know if those were the guys that were striking out, but either way, I'm like, this Marlins team is definitely difficult to strike out, and he did it 9 times. So that's incredibly impressive. And he led the Nats to a 3-run win. You know, a single from CJ and a 2-run home run from Jacob Young was all that they needed to win 3 straight, because they had won those 2 games against the Twins and then that 1 game against the Marlins to make it 3 straight. And listen, when I saw that, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm like, this is going to be
You're
good.
You're on the Nats train.
Yeah, like the fish are okay. This is the time where they get swept by the Nats, and we're like, okay, you know, this is who they truly are. Nope, that wasn't what they were. Brett's favorite, Lovelady, who started the game, Dickie Lovelady, was actually not the problem. He threw 2 scoreless. Not the issue. It was Mitchell Parker and Zach Littell who spoiled all the fun for the Nats.
Zach Littell sucks. He sucks,
Zach Littell
man.
does suck, and it's so crazy because there was a time when he was with the Rays where it's like, oh, wait, is this guy gonna be
He
really
actually
good?
had, had a decent season last year. I was surprised that he landed with the Nationals for the amount of money that he did. He had like a 3.8 ERA.
Yeah. So he definitely had a good time when he was in Tampa.
Underlying stats not great. Littell, one of the worst pitchers in baseball, probably.
Yeah, honestly, close to it.
Close.
So yes, 10 hits and 7 earned runs later, the game was in complete shambles. Like, they started off with Abrams and Wood, who just continued to be the rock of this team. They showed up with an early homer and an early triple and quickly made it 4-0. You're like, okay, here we go. And nope, that's not what happened. It was just a complete implosion by this Nationals. You know, we talked about it. You know, Xavier Edwards and co. just made it hurt for this team that needed to win that game, and they just didn't. And listen, that just happens sometimes. And
yeah, what's the difference between good and bad baseball teams? The bullpen, right? It's like your offense can kind of give you some life. Maybe your starter gives you 2 times through the order, and then it's up to your bullpen. And if your bullpen is not up to the task, you know, it's different on a day-to-day basis. Who knows, you know, but clearly they had their number.
And the good news for the Nationals, Marlins, and Phillies all together is everyone's at 19 and 22 right now. You know what I mean? Like, this fight for second place in the division is going to be one of the cooler fights that we're going to see throughout the season. I'm like,
it's a battle of the suck, let's be honest.
Yes, but we cover this division, so this is what we care about. You know what I mean? I don't, like, when I'm covering this podcast, I don't care about anyone else. I care about the teams in our division, and I'm excited to see who comes out on top of this 3-way battle for second spot.
Throw the Mets in there. Throw the Mets in there. Why not? Come on.
Yeah, but they're not going to be competing.
Come on.
I'm like, okay, but they're not. So it's fine. It's fine. You know, we can get through it together. This is division therapy. Don't kill me. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, and then finally, Cavalli, who had that strikeout tool, and we were like, oh, you know, is this guy going to be top of the rotation with Foster Griffin? No. He's absolutely sucked the last couple games. When the strikeout tool isn't working for him, clearly it doesn't work, but somehow he still finished 6 innings. I don't know what it is with these guys and these managers lately, but it's like, we'll just leave him out there. But then again, it also makes sense because the bullpen was absolutely terrible. So, you know, you were like, okay, well, maybe it isn't worth it. Garcia and Lyle were really the only main offensive threats. You know, Garcia grabbed a triple and a double with 2 RBIs. And listen, it's a tough day. If Abrams and Wood don't show up, it's difficult to win games. And even when they do show up with that second game, they still lost. So I don't really know. It's tough. But listen, as I said, everyone's 19 and 22 for those three teams, and we will see how we move forward from that. Okay, so let's look at the temperature check super quickly. Where are we at, Brett? I'm assuming there's no panic because life sucks.
Ha ha ha. I'm going to take this moment to not give a panic level. I'm going off script.
Okay.
And I just want to know what the Mets are doing. I just want to know. No. Hear me out. Okay. I just want to know if they are trying to save this season or if they're just looking ahead to next season, because they did it a few years ago. Remember, they traded Scherzer and they traded Verlander, and Scherzer, before he got traded, it was like, what's the direction of this team for this year? They gave it to him straight. They said, we're looking for next year, and they were able to get Luis Angel Acuna, who then got them Luis Robert. So there is benefit to just looking, punting this season and saying, you know what, we'll get him next year. Or you could still go after this season. Personally, I'm in the boat of go after this season. The wild card is not out of hand. If maybe come July 1st, you're like, okay, 6 games out of the wild card, you say, maybe it's not our season. But there are a lot of teams with a lot of bad contracts. I was reading some articles today, and it's like, they want to move Devers' contract. I'd take him. I would take Rafael Devers on the Mets, and it probably wouldn't cost him that much. They'd probably eat most, if not all, of the contract, and I would totally take him. 100%. I don't think he's a clubhouse cancer. I think
there needs to be, but here's what I will say.
Yeah,
I think
talk to me.
We need to be realistic about this. There needs to be significant movement and significant regression in the NL Central before we start thinking about the wild card. I'm like, the NL Central is the best it's been in like years. I'm like, these.
I think there will be regression if we're being
and
honest.
But I'm like, obviously, if Stearns is trade deadline time. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be at least 2, maybe 3 of the NR Central teams that are at least at 500 or below to realistically be saying, okay, we're fighting, and obviously we will also need
or you could make the move tomorrow
movement.
Or tonight and be like, hey, we are going for this season, and we don't really care about the other teams. We are going to make our team better today for this year by making this move. And I don't know if that's Devers. I don't know if that's Story. I don't know if that's another bad contract that's out there.
Story clearly does not want to play in Boston.
Story does not want to play in Boston, so it wouldn't cost them that much. I saw that today too. So there's options if they want to. I just don't think they want to.
Yeah.
So
I understand. I understand that, and we will see. But obviously, I do think that there needs to be a couple more wins that take place and regression elsewhere.
It would have been nice to take the series. If they went 4-2 on their trip, I would have felt a little bit better. Now that they went 3-3, I'm like, that's probably what they are.
Listen, next up, Tigers, Yankees. Not super fun.
Ouch.
Yeah, not super fun. Obviously, Tigers are easier than the Yankees, but
no Scooble, thank God.
Yeah, no Scooble. Thank God for you. You don't have to deal with Scooble. We did, and obviously we lost that game.
That was the game. That was the game, though. That his arm hurt, and I was like, "Dude, his arm." And you're like, "Oh no!" And everyone was like, "Oh no, he's good." And then listen, 3 months. 3 months later.
Well, I obviously I don't have a panic level. We're pretty good. Okay, all right. Player of the series for me, I'm like, listen, it easily has to be Michael Harris. I'm like, he continues to kind of fly under the radar because he didn't really have a lot of extra base hits, and for a lot of people, singles aren't particularly sexy, but he went 6 for 13 this series with singles and 1 double. But clearly he shifted his focus. I'm like, clearly he is maturing, and clearly he is making that change that I had discussed, where it's like, listen, I'm gonna get on base, I'm going to patrol the entire outfield and make impacts for this baseball team. And that's what he's doing. And it is so fun to see. I'm so glad that Michael Harris has made that change, because he is now consistently getting on base and making impacts for this ball club, and he continues to do it. And home runs are sexy, RBIs are sexy, but what is also sexy? Getting on base. And
setting
that is
the play,
what
setting the table.
Set him up, and that's what he did. 6 for 13. Last time I checked, that's pretty freaking good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a player of the series written down. I was going to say Nolan McLean, but actually, I'm going to disagree with your player of the series. I'm going to give it to somebody else on the Braves, and I'm torn between 2 guys.
Okay.
One, I can't believe it's not Spencer Strider. I can't believe it's not Butter, but I can't believe it's not Spencer Strider. He had a great start. But two, how do you not give it to Eli White? The guy saved you a loss. That was gonna be a bases clearing double by Muncy at least.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like that play was just incredible. And of course the Braves make those plays. This is me off. But yeah,
well,
that's
I called him Superman earlier, so that is my gratefulness to Eli White.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have something special that we would like to announce at the end of the podcast here. So we're doing a giveaway. Tell us a little bit about the giveaway, Brett.
Yeah, man. We want to just thank everybody who has supported us, whether that's Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, telling your mom about it, whatever it is. Like, we want to thank you guys. And so for this giveaway, we are going to give away one hat of your favorite team.
Even if it's the Phillies.
Yeah, even if it's the Phillies. And we just need you guys to do a few things for us to qualify for this contest.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 things. First, either be following the Instagram or the TikTok. Second, tag your friends in the post that we will be making tomorrow. And then finally, follow that Spotify. We will be monitoring this, and then on Monday, we will announce it on the podcast, as well as I will go live and announce it as well. And we will buy whatever hat you would like.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and you know what? We're excited about this. Yeah. Maybe buy a troll hat, buy a Braves suck hat if your best friend's a Braves fan, have some fun with it because we sure are. That's all we have for today, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Division Therapy. We will see you later.
Goodbye.